Okay. All right. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, so good. How are you doing? I'm
I
excited.
I know I'm so excited to talk to you today. So, I just want you to like give a little intro about yourself, like who you are and what you do, and about your salon, and then we'll get into our topic today.
Okay, so I'm Jackie Spellman. I've been doing hair for 19 years now.
That's a long
um,
time.
Long time. I started as an apprentice. Actually, I didn't go to beauty school. Um, but so yeah, I started doing extensions. I don't even know. I want to say it was like 2010, but it was mostly like tapes, and I hated the bonds. Anyway, so fast forward to a year ago, I started doing hand tied, and it has been a very interesting road. But we've settled, and I've found like a really good groove for myself so far, and I'm just still fine tuning and doing that. But typically, I specialize in hair color and extensions, and I've quit doing haircuts and men's hair and children's hair, and you know,
So
so
you've gotten rid of all of those.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, to
I-
make room on my books. And now I'm rebuilding. A year ago, I had moved across town, broke up with half my clientele, and had a little like, we have a health scare in my house. So I sort of like did hand tied, one because I was bored, but also because I wasn't sure how we were going to pay all these medical bills. So um, it's actually, it, it was a lot of investing and a lot of time, but it is paying off now.
I
So
know it
I'm able to
totally is paying
cover,
off. Yeah.
yes, I'm able to cover things that I would not be able to cover, even though money just comes in and flies out. At least I can cover it. We're not like drowning. It's not so scary anymore. So that's kind of, I guess, my story in a snippet over the last year.
I know the extensions have really changed my career too. I was like just looking at numbers, and I did half the amount of clients last year, but made $20,000 more. So it
Oh,
really has like it's really transformed my business.
yeah. I've almost doubled my monthly income, and I don't want to say half, but I work close to a 30% less,
Yeah,
at least behind the chair.
right. Can you hear the dog barking? She's
Yeah,
going
I can.
crazy. I know. Okay, so we were talking and we touched base on a topic that I feel is like totally like forgotten, and it's creating a luxury experience in the salon and behind the chair. And
Absolutely.
you put it into the best words possible. And like literally, like you said that people are always chasing the next big service
Hmm.
instead of just switching the way they do things behind the chair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that and talk about like how you create a luxury experience and like what you think a luxury experience is and where you feel like things are lacking like in other areas, like with other salons and other, stylists behind the chair.
Yeah. So I left a salon to go into a studio because I needed to control the environment. As soon as I started this, I knew right away, I'm like, there's no way that I could offer this service at this price point with the environment I was in. It was fun, but it was very casual and very, I don't know, like conversations that went, I wanted to be able to seriously control the environment. And I didn't own a salon, so I ended up going into a studio. And so now I have complete control over it, almost to the point where like a studio life is completely different. Once you shut the door, it is therapy. It like
Yeah.
way more than in a salon. Um, but so that was where it started. But also, I think really a lot of stylists are jumping on this hand tied, right? But this isn't like a tape in service. You're not just going to pop it on and go. I call it burn and turns, when
Yeah.
stylists like burn and turn their clients and it's just in and out and it's assembly line. These clients are so I don't come from money. So for me, being like, if I'm going to accept $1,200, $1,800, even $500 for a row, I had a hard time accepting it, because I didn't, unless I felt like I was giving everything I could. So, and I'm definitely put a lot of heart and soul into what I do, for sure. All of us do, but we have to respect that they are choosing to put that much money on their hair and also come back for maintenance. And in a lot of ways, it's more than a med spa.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
It's way more than what med spas charge. And so I wanted to create that kind of environment. And it starts from even before they come into the chair. So I have, and I'll actually upload them. I was thinking about that this morning. I have a client flow in my Dropbox where I've made on Canva. You love Canva.
I do.
I love
it.
Canva. So I've made on Canva some documents and things to share with my clients while I'm also communicating with them, even before and after their appointments. So, I mean, we talked about the Ritz, right? We're offering a service, where this is like Ritz Carlton level stuff. If we're asking for that kind of money and they're entrusting our expertise, I think really respecting the experience has been a big thing for me. And I do say this out of like the mistakes I made,
right?
Because learning this is really hard, and a lot of people learning it is like so overwhelmed with thinking about every single little detail that it's really hard to actually think about what the client is feeling.
Right.
So that's how it all came to be.
And I think one of the things is that just hairstylists that are taking on the service have never really spent that amount of money on something, even if it's like a purse or, like even a stay at a hotel, like we talked about the Ritz-Carlton. So they don't know how to create that type of luxury experience because they've never experienced it themselves. But the type of clients that are actually able to maintain the extensions and that are actually able to invest in the extensions, they can have those experiences. So we have to be able to provide those experiences.
Yeah, they've had them and they can compare us to that. So it's a smart investment to go and experience something, even if you go get your hair done by another artist, or or if you're going to Louis Vuitton, or go have lunch at the Ritz at least. Like
do something. I know, spends a good deal of money so you can actually experience what the people that we are sitting, or the people that are sitting in our chair, are experiencing on a regular basis. So what are the things that you do to make sure that your clients like have a luxury experience? Like what are some of the tiny details you really hone in on and really make sure that are always there when someone is coming to get the service?
So one thing I actually start with before they even arrive, especially if they've never been to the salon before, or the studio, is I have like a little welcome thing. I email them and it's just like, this is my location. You're going to make a U-turn, like I'm in the studio, it's called Studio 55. Because a lot of people had been showing up like, I'm in front of Studio 55. I don't see lifted salon. And I'm like, that's because I'm in it.
Yeah.
So I just started sending a welcome letter. This is what you can expect. Like, we're going to sit down and have a consultation. If I'm with a client, there is coffee in the lobby. I'll be right with you. I always try to like make sure, but if they arrive before I'm done, a lot of people come to my door and like knock and open, and I'm still finishing a client, and it can be a little bit like the flow,
hectic.
It interjects the flow for the person finishing their service. So that's the first thing that happens, is I set the stage. Like, this is what to expect when you come here. This is what the building looks like. This is where it is. We'll do a consultation. Here's coffee, lattes. So we have cappuccinos, lattes, tea, water. all in the amenities of my studio. And then inside my studio, I have RX bars and kind bars, and champagne, and sparkling water was the other thing I added, because between what the studio offers and what I offer, we're pretty much covered. And then of course door dashing, as far as like if we're doing really long projects, like that, color and extensions. So that's like one thing. But also, once they come in, I guess I use a lot of like a clipboard and my nice printed out Canva or like pages that I've done in order to really just like complement what I'm doing. So I sit down and I talk to them face to face. I have a little stool. That was one of the things I've done for years, was sitting down in front of them. Like, have you ever been to a restaurant and the waiter like lays down?
Hi, I'm talking to Jackie. Yeah.
Hi, babe.
Do you want to say hi? You could say hi. Come here.
Hi, cutie patootie.
We're just having a conversation. Can I finish my conversation? You want to go watch a movie, or you want to sit here with me? Because you can sit here with me, but you gotta be quiet, okay? Okay, I see your Woody. That's so cute.
That's not
I know. Oh my God, he's obsessed. Can I go put you in? Oh, can I go put you out there? Do you want a snack maybe?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get him a snack. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's get back to it. Okay, so you have your clipboard, and then you were saying that you sit down in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever been to a restaurant where the waiter like gets down and takes your order and like really looks at you, that always impressed me. So I'm like, you know what? So I sit down and I make sure to create a lot of eye contact and definitely repeating back what they're saying and really understanding what their needs are, what their wants are. Trying to figure out how they like to wear their hair, giving them, I give too much information probably.
I do too.
Just
Yeah.
over inform about what to expect. How do they wear their hair? Do they know how to style their hair? This and that. And then I ask all of those questions. Mine might come in a second. I ask all the questions on what their daily habits are, as far as, and then what kind of, I'm also looking to solve their problems, right? That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So, and trying to rectify them. And then if they're like, I do a high pony every day, I talk to them about that. Like, okay, well, that's okay. And you can definitely put these up in a high pony, but I'd like you to refrain from doing it every single day or in the same position every day, just things like that. And then I tell them what to expect as far as what we're going to do in the appointment. I quote their price range and their time frame to make sure that they do understand they're going to sit here for hours, or we can break up the appointment into two. I don't know if you have clients who I'm that client.
Yeah, I know. Don't want to sit for 5 hours.
I can't sit through both, but I start to go nuts. But so I quote the time, which I probably did over the phone anyway in our phone interview. And then I have them sign an acknowledgement form about their extensions, making sure they understand, because just like, bringing it back to like med spas, if you're going to get anything done, injections, augmentations, like things like that, they really took me through like, these are all the things you need to do in order to care for this. And so I really just kind of felt like, since we're working on that level, that I think we need to create that experience for them and really knowing what to expect. And that came from having stylists or clients that didn't take care of their extensions right, and it was my fault, not theirs.
I know.
So
it's always our fault. Yeah.
Because I wasn't checking in on them. I wasn't making sure. Or, if I have a client or like clients who like their hair's shedding, but they're like, it was no big, I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm like, well, your weft unraveled by an inch. And now I have to like
reconfigure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's my fault. So, oh, the days of the models. And I think too, like doing models, that's where it's not only like honing in on your craft, but also honing in on like what kind of flow you want them to experience. Like that's where you get to be distracted and try and concentrate, but also understand like what kind of flow, because even models are paying a pretty penny for this.
Oh yeah, because they have to pay for the hair, and it's the hair that is the most expensive part of the whole service. So, and I even think like touching base on the basic things, like making sure that your space is sparkling
Oh
clean.
gosh, yes, 5-star clean.
5-star clean. I notice stuff all the time. It drives me crazy when things aren't sparkling clean. And even setting the tone, like, does it smell good in your space?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
smells
I just
and
put a doTERRA, like it's called Elevation, and my salon's called Lifted. Oh my god, it smells so good.
I'm gonna have to look
I
into
was
that.
doing lavender and clary sage in a diffuser, and then I went and got the doTERRA Elevation mix. They have a ton of blends that are good. It's like buying a bottle of perfume. It's like, unless you sign up for the whole thing, but
Right.
like $65, but it smells so good, and
And
it'll last forever.
I think even the music, I think a lot of stylists play music that they want to listen to
Yes.
instead of playing music that invokes a feeling of, even luxury or just invokes feeling in general for the client. Like, I mean, think about the stores in the mall. I don't know if you have been to the mall, but like all the stores that have like Abercrombie and Fitch, if it's still around, I don't even know if they exist. When you walk in that store, like you are immediately like all of your senses are ignited, and it should be the same way when you walk into a salon.
Absolutely, that too. They have like ambiance music that you don't even notice really is playing. There's a whole psychological studies behind music and like kind of putting people in like somewhat of a trance, I guess, to
Mm-hmm.
where they spend money. There's tons of stores. There's this woman called Sally Hogshead that actually is a marketing guru, and
We'll have to look her up.
she's good. It's called How to Fascinate. Was her first book, and another one was How the World Sees You, and it's figuring out who you are, like naturally, and who you are not as well, so you can bring in those aspects. But yeah, it's fascinating. I love to geek. Her stuff is so good. She's geeky.
I wrote it down.
She did Jägermeister. She's done Target. Like she's big. She's big. She knows what she's talking
That's
about.
awesome.
But yeah, the music, or even like I'm pretty decent at reading people by now. I can sort of tell, but I ask them like, what kind of music do you like? What do you listen to? What do you want to hear today? So, it's not my music. So,
Right.
making sure that, yeah, the smell, everything's super clean. Like there's no hair on the ground. If my mirror was left up and the stupid hairspray, I hate it when I do that, but it's all speckled with
Yeah.
hairspray.
Or fingerprints.
No. So I started hiding it now so I could spray it really quick, because I always leave it facing up and I get so mad at myself.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, those little details really, really bug me. Or if like in the corners of your station there's hair,
Right.
things like that, like wipe it down, like really wipe it down. And it seems like a pain in the butt, and we're so tired at the end of the day or before we start, we're just like really trying to set it up, but get to work way earlier and
Like at least an hour.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just make sure everything's clean, sit down, like have your coffee, sit in your chair and look around. Yeah. So like, having the amenities, making sure that they're fed, making sure everything's super, super clean, sight, smell, sound, like ignite all their senses in the best way possible.
Yeah, we always have the best snacks. If someone is going to be there for 5 hours, we order them lunch, we order them Starbucks. Like those are the little extra things that you should be doing. Your client should want or need for nothing.
Yeah, when I'm looking, my lease is up in January and I want to expand my location, and I have criteria. I want to be like I have to at least be within walking distance of a coffee shop if I have to lose the latte and the cappuccino machine we have.
Right. I know.
So really making sure when you're looking for a salon to even work out if people are going to leave, because this might actually spark people go to look at where they're at and be like, oh shit, like maybe this isn't the right experience for my client. And that's what happened to me. I had to go.
Yeah.
There was no way I could do this there.
It's not personal.
I love it.
I know. I have a salon, and then we've got like salon suites. So I'm moving out of one of the suites and going back to the salon, and I'm redoing the whole salon, because I'm like, there's no way I can provide this service in my salon. Like, it needs to be updated. It hasn't been updated in 5 years. Like, it just needs to be done.
Yeah.
So you just do, you have to have like a big picture. It can't just be like your hair services. It's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, this is a prestigious thing. This is a status symbol for a lot of people. It's not just like solving thin hair problems. It's also a symbol. It's a status symbol for others. You know, one of my clients calls it her power suit. You know,
That's
so,
awesome.
I know, I use it all the time in my marketing. I'm like, that is perfect. But you know, just, and I actually have been, since I'm in a studio and I'm not working with other people, which like sort of kills my soul a little bit. I actually hate the studio life, but it's, my clients love it. I'm like, I need other artists, so I'm going out and shadowing, and then I have a couple of clients who are stylists, and so I've traveled to their studios, like, because a couple of them are out of town. One's in Tahoe, so I'm like, I'll come up to Tahoe in the summer,
Right?
And she's a friend too, so I went into her salon, and it was just beautiful. Absolutely, it gave me so many ideas. They're a green circle salon.
Yeah, we have that too.
I want to do it so bad. I don't have the space for all the bins. There's no room. I'm in a 10 by 10 studio.
You know what I love about you though? I love that you've been doing hair for 19 years and you still are going and shadowing people. You know how many people just put themselves in like a little bubble and they just stop. They stop learning and they stop growing.
No, absolutely. I mean, I get to the point, especially like I said, I'm in a studio. I don't have anyone to feed off of, but also every time like you level up, there's people there that are ready. You know, you've been amazing for guidance. You know, Natalie's
Ditto.
great.
Yeah.
There's been people I've reached out to, even, you know, creators of lines that I've reached out to for help and ghost me. And I'm like, here's one thing is I think stylists might ask and they get rejected and then they never ask again. So I've been rejected even by people that I'm like, wait, like, what do you mean? Oh, but you know, they could be busy. They could be whatever. It might not even be about you, but I just keep pushing. I'm like, no, okay, well, if this person can't guide me or be the right person for me, then I'm going to find someone else. And eventually people are willing to help. I have some stylists now coming to shadow me because they just started, and the educators there's not enough educators in the area to help them. So I'm maybe overstepping my bounds, but I can still help, you know. So, you know, there's always someone above you that you should be reaching out to, and never think you're at the top. Otherwise your career is over.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, like you, I had a hard time, and education became like my number one thing, like in order to get to where I needed. And so it's always been at the forefront of my career. I think I spend way over the recommended budget on education. I'm grounded this year after last, but
I know I'm done. I think last year I spent like $16,000 on education with BMS and and you know, DTH.
Yeah. I'm still like, I want to talk to you more about that because I'm such a skeptic now that I'm like, wait, what does this exactly look like? Because I don't know if I can hand it over again. But yeah, I risked a lot. It was scary. It was really scary, the amount that it was putting out. And I think one thing too, people don't realize is with extensions and luxury services, we are trying to reach 1% of people it's hard. So you will I grossly underestimated how long it would take me to build. And I just now got extensions. And so after a year of doing it with short hair, so now I'm kind of like, just wait. Like, now I can sell this because I wear it. But once I get over down to here, I'm ruining everyone's lives.
Right. No, I know. And now that you've experienced it, like now you even know more about what to like and how to explain to clients.
Yep.
So
yeah. I mean, I wore 1 row for thickness, but I already have thick hair. It was annoying.
yeah.
It was really annoying. I had to get 3 rows to just get 3 inches longer. So,
But it looks
but I
so
got a
good.
cute shaggy cut.
Yeah, I love it. One thing I think, and it's the last thing I think we'll talk about that we didn't touch base on, is like even just the way you speak to clients and vocabulary, I feel like is
Yes.
another thing that people don't really realize is a huge part of the service. Like making sure that you're talking to people in a professional way and just like more eloquently, like, and using I don't want to say like big words, but like just speaking to people in a different way than you would with like color service.
Yeah, I think that we definitely, so I'm terrible with words, but education has helped me
Mm-hmm.
because I will know I'm wonderful written. I can sound great when I'm written. And that is why I've relied on Canva to create, like, here's my eloquency right here. Cause I am a more casual person, but when I'm setting the stage and sitting in front of them, I'm using my knowledge to speak to them and going like, I have a little bit more of a definitive air of confidence. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know what's best for you. And I care more about your hair than you do right now, because ultimately it's my reputation. It's like, I will lose sleep over you.
Yes.
I will literally cry. I cried a lot over the last year over clients, so.
Oh my God. I'm right there with you. Seriously.
Yeah, I have cried, and I will tell my clients too. I'm like, don't worry. I promise. I actually have someone right now. I haven't closed on her, but I was shocked to hear about the way the stylist is treating her and who it was. When she told me who it was, I was even more floored, because I thought it was someone who had it together, because her marketing's so on point. Everything she does is so on point. And to hear a story from a client right now whose hair is matting, Boheme, go figure, right?
Right.
I was like, the second I saw her photos, I'm like, that's Boheme. Her hair is matting up. She spent $1,500 on her hair. The stylist did not answer her back for 3 days, as she's like, it's matting, it's matting, it's matting. And like, she's not talking, she's like, well, I'll try and get a refund from Boheme, and it's going to be like, I was like, I already know this is going to be 6 weeks and they probably won't replace it. But when that happened to me, I had 4 models and all of their hair went bad. I got the bad batch right away.
Oh my
First
gosh.
thing that happened, I didn't have the money to replace it, and I replaced it before Boheme
Just
even
figured it out.
I just figured it out, because
yeah.
it's ultimately your responsibility, and you have to respect that. But also, like, sorry, ADHD big time. Sorry, Patricia, but yeah.
No, me too. I'm right there with you.
When you're speaking to somebody and using your knowledge, looking at them in the eye, making sure that they really understand energetically that you care, you know what you're doing. Don't do things outside of your wheelhouse and spout off, technical terms and then not know how to back it up. So
right.
That's another thing, like, I've totally done and regretted.
Right.
Doing short extensions. So anyway, but yeah, I start off the consultation and starting with them very informative and almost clinical. It's almost a little bit clinical, but I also have my personality in there, and I will, as I have this whole interview, like, I'll get distracted and be like, oh yeah, hold on, let me just reel myself in a little bit. And, you know, if you can read a person and know if they're more casual, and once you're inside the service a little bit, we do these for a really long time, different conversations that probably aren't the most professional come up. Like, we're supposed to just talk about hair the whole time, right?
And
Well,
that's
how do
sometimes
you do that in
impossible
6
for 4 hours.
hours?
Yeah, 6 hours.
Oh gosh. I'm in a studio, and I don't know if this is true for you, or I'm just the kind of stylist that's the shoulder. Britt Siva did an interview that was about what kind of stylist you are, and I am the shoulder. I've figured out where people just pour their hearts out to me, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'll come home so drained.
Yeah, it's emotionally draining.
I think it's because it's worse when you have a studio, but this last week I had 2 people who had trauma stories. And not only am I trying to provide the service and let them guide the conversation, I have to I actually need to go figure out a little bit more some sort of psychology to understand like what to say. I don't say much, I just listen, but that's another part that, you know, the style that you have to let your client kind of guide the conversation and what they want. And if you need to change the subject because you can't handle it, because there was a time I couldn't handle it because my life was so like heavy that I couldn't take on any other people's heaviness. So you have to figure out how to, I can listen, but you have to figure out how to turn and guide a conversation to go the other way without them knowing that, like, I don't want to talk about this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh man, you need to talk to David. He is amazing. Like he just is so good at teaching emotional intelligence. So like when it comes to like, not only for yourself, but when it comes to handling situations and, you know, really guiding clients and, you know, having conversations like that with clients, he's changed my life. Like, I really think you should just do a free call with him. Have you done a free call yet? You did?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I just have to like bite the bullet.
I know, because it's an investment.
What he said to me, I was like, I want to open a salon and I'm terrified. And he was talking to me a little bit and he's like, what did he say to me? There were 2 things he scared me with, and in the best way possible. He was like, well, you're the kind of person who needs to open a salon. And I'm like, he's all, because you're so scared and because of your reason why.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah. And then he's all, well, I'll have you opening a salon in 9 months. And I was like, okay, I can't do this.
My friend Shelly, she went from a hobby hairstylist and now she's opening her own salon. He totally transformed her. It's crazy.
I'm so terrified. We'll talk about the other things. I get really triggered by debt after the BMS. So I'm
dude,
like, ah!
I know. I'm right there with you. It's like right in the heart. Like you can't breathe. I know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was that. But I will probably end up going with them. I just,
when you're ready.
I know, and I should, because my lease is up in January and my suite mate is my sister-in-law, and she's pregnant and due in January. So there's things,
all the things are aligning.
Shit, I should really do this. But anyway, I'll talk to him later. But yeah, I think there are so many layers to, aside from doing hair,
that go with everything.
You could be a shitty hairdresser.
I know. And have a good clientele.
Yeah. You don't even have to do, I think I concentrated so many years over being educated and doing everything so perfectly that I did get to a point where I forgot about my client's experience and I was selfishly only having my own experience. And so now my career is completely flipped with the services I offer and then the experience that they have now is totally different. I changed it all.
And how have you seen your, really, how is that reflected on your business now that you've like seen that and you've changed it?
I have people who are like my biggest fans. Like I still have like a lot of my clients I've had for years and years and years, my ride or dies. But I think that my experience, especially getting my hair done by other people, like it's definitely inspired me to up the level of service I've had and to notice that. And I think it's really good. I do mean to do a customer survey to see, but
I know.
and being on time. Oh man, that's huge.
It's so
And
huge.
communicating if you're not, that will make someone irate if you are not on time or respecting their time.
I know. It really makes a huge difference. You'll lose people over that.
Oh
It's
yeah.
I think Britt says it's the number one reason why people leave, because they feel like you don't respect their time.
Yep. Yeah.
And everyone's so busy. No one has time,
No.
So
No. I you'll lose me over time too, because
mm-hmm.
I've got 2 kids, a business, and I'm an athlete. I have sports to do. Like I can't do all the things. So I carve out specific windows, and if it doesn't happen, I'm wearing strip lashes now because of it.
Because you're eyelash girl?
I lost my eyelash girl to time, and then I can't find anyone else, and then my eyelashes needed a break. So
oh my gosh, that's so
like
funny.
A baby panda.
So what is like the number one thing you want to like end this conversation with? Like that you feel would be like most beneficial? I feel like we touched, and it was such a good conversation too. We touched on so many great things.
Yeah, there's so many things. I think the biggest thing I've learned over this whole year was to really, really respect your client's time and their wallet, and understand the emotions that they have being willing to entrust you with their transformation that costs a luxury,
Mm-hmm.
a very luxurious amount of money. Um and that's mainly it. Just super respect your clients, and that they are respecting your art, like, and they've come to you, because now I'm in Sacramento, California, and there's hand-tied artists everywhere. I'm not the only one. When it was NBR, I wasn't even close to the only one. So in a lot of cities, they'll be like, artists are the only one, but right now you're not going to be the only one. It's blowing up.
It is blowing up.
And the only thing that's going to set you apart from the girl down the street is going to be your level of service. Like, I've brought on a girl in my suite. I mean, I don't have competition at all, but there's people right next door to me, and you can, in order to really, like, I think as hand-tied artists, we all should have that. People should have that expectation of us, because it does set us apart in the extension world as well.
I know, because I feel like what happens is, a service gets really popular, and we've already discussed this. A service gets really popular, everyone starts doing it. Instead of up-leveling your game, you cut your price. And that's what ruins it for everybody. Like, it ruins it for everybody, because then, clients start price shopping, and instead of, slashing your price, start elevating what you're doing, and you can charge what you want, and you'll still get the clients.
Absolutely. I've lost a lot of consultations to a stylist that's undercutting everything, and I'm now discovering that these people are regretting it, and they're like, I wish I would have gone to you, because now my scalp is ruined, and the color doesn't match, and she's not answering my text, she's not addressing my concerns about this. Oh my God, big thing too. I do, like, we all should be doing that shampoo blowout checkup.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I do that on every single person. I totally forgot. Yeah. So for my clients, we can touch base on this. For my clients, I have every single client come back a week later, and then we do a complimentary blowout on them. And then we address any issues or any problems they might have, because, a lot of people haven't had extensions before. So they're going home, and it's an overwhelming amount of hair, and it's an overwhelming experience after they wash it for the first time. So a week is a good amount of time, because they've at least styled it once on their own. And then if there's any scalp irritation, you can address it at that time. Or if, the cut isn't blending because they've styled it their way and it's not the way you styled it before they left. I mean, you just have to do it. You have to.
Yes. I was always doing checkups, but I started doing a full shampoo blowout, and I put a little phone tripod, and it has a little sign that says place your phone here for a free tutorial. And I either put my phone there for them, and I'll record a live for them to repeat back, or they have their own recording on their phone on everything I'm doing, everything I'm talking about, because questions come up.
That's so smart. Oh my God, that's genius. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just there. I'm like, this is on your phone. You can fast forward, rewind, compare where we're at. You know, I can hand them the tools if they want, like explaining everything, because they'll ask things and I don't think to answer, and then it's there on video and they have it. So
that's so smart. And, you know, people are like, oh, I don't want to do free things. Well, then just roll it into your installation price. Like if you are going to do a complimentary blowout, then roll it into your installation price.
Yeah, you could. You know what? I get so much content. I don't have a problem with my clients wanting photos, and they will. Babies.
Missing his arm. Let me see. I'll open it for you. Here, how about you sit here for a minute and we're going to finish the conversation. And then he's got all the toys.
He's funny. But yeah, it's an opportunity to get photos.
Oh my gosh, totally. Get photos and video. Right.
Give him a scrunchie. My like hair care kit. Scrunchie, pillowcase.
Yeah. And
know?
content is everything. Content's everything. That's how you're going to get clients. That's how you're going to start the peak of interest, is with all those little pictures and everything.
I'm telling you, since I started doing the shampoo blowout
with
them, because I was checking on them, but it was you who inspired me to do a full shampoo blowout. And since I started doing that, like, it's actually been able to get me to land people when I was like, this is what we do. I need you to come back in this amount of time. You know, it's not just this installation. We're going to do a move up in 6 weeks, but in 1 to 2 weeks, I need to see you back for a complimentary shampoo blowout. And they're like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. And I'm like,
yeah. It's something that's extra that not a lot of people are doing. Hi.
Yeah.
This tea come out. Okay, I'll fix it for you.
And you know what? I've never not sold extra products.
Oh yeah. I always send them home with a goodie bag, always, with a brush, you know, little travel size styling products. And then when they come back, they usually do buy the full size.
Yep. Yeah.
So
yeah, same girl.
And then what else? There was one other thing that I wanted to, and I have my assistants do the blowout. I know you don't have an assistant, but I have my assistant. It gives my assistants practice. And then, you know, my one girl is trained on the extension. So, you know, gives her an opportunity to actually like experience styling and blow drying them. And then even just answering the questions, she's very capable. So if you're a busy stylist who, you know, who wants to offer this, it's not necessarily something you have to do, but, you know, you can have your assistant do it. And it keeps assistants like wanting to work with you, because then they're not just doing the bitch work. They're actually getting to do hair too. So
yeah, absolutely. Another reason why I should just open a damn salon and get out of that.
Girl, you need to. You are so knowledgeable and so inspiring. Like seriously, like every time I've had like a one-on-one interaction, like at Warrior or like all of those events, and like even like the BMS events, or even just talking to you, like you literally inspire me so much. I hope you know that. Like you are so great. You should have your own salon. You really should.
Oh, thanks, because you inspire me so much.
Oh my God.
I fangirl the crap out of you.
Me too. We fangirl the crap out of each other, which is great.
It's just a little left that.
I know. And I love our group. Everyone's so supportive in our group. It's great.
Yeah, I've added a few people that's been very helpful.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to end the conversation because he's had his peak time. So
I got it.
Being by himself, and you also too. So thank you so much for spending the like morning with me and having a great conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll be posting this soon too. So
awesome.
Okay, cool. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, love.
Bye.